And for more on what travelers can expect, I want to welcome back Clint Henderson, managing editor of The Points Guy. Hey there, Clint. So we've got about 3,000 flights already canceled today and tomorrow. It's being called the nightmare before Christmas. Could this year's holiday travel mess really live up to the hype?
Absolutely. You know, last year, when we didn't have such severe weather, things totally melted down around Christmas. So unfortunately, Mother Nature is not cooperating this year, and we do think it's going to be really bad. In fact, it already is bad. You're seeing places like Chicago and parts of the Midwest dealing with whiteout conditions and freezing temperatures. And that just means, you know, every plane has to be de-iced if they're flying at all. You know, you've got ground stops in some locations. So we're expecting the ripple effects of this to go on for days, hopefully not weeks like last year, but anything is possible right now with this weather.
What a mess. And the timing, it's so unfortunate, but it is that time of year. Now, anyone who has a plane ticket for the next couple of days, they want to know, what do they do? What should they anticipate? What's your advice for them?
So the first thing is knowledge is power. You have to be your own best advocate right now because of the mess out there. So you should know where your flight is coming from. Apps like Flight Radar 24 are among my favorite, but even the airline's own app you can use to track your incoming flights in many cases. So be aware of where your flight's coming from. That'll tell you whether or not it's even going to make it to your airport so you can get out on time. But you should have the app installed, as I mentioned, because if you have to cancel and get rebooked, you can do that yourself within the app. But you should also be following the airline on social media so you can direct message them if things go wrong. If you see your flight is canceled, you're already at the airport, run to the customer service desk, get on the phone to the airline, get on the rebooking app, message them on social media. Use all the tools in your toolbox, because remember, you're going to be competing with everyone else whose flight was just canceled to get on the next available flight. And the truth is, because there's so many flights canceled and the airlines have scaled back the number of flights, there's very high competition for fewer seats right now. So getting rebooked is going to be a challenge. But remember, you can always also get rebooked on a competitor airline in situations like this. So you just have to really ask and be your own best advocate.
That's some really good advice. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a line at the airport, at the airline's desk, trying to rebook, and then I call them at the same time and then get rebooked faster over the phone. So it's a really great tip. Now, a lot of airlines are offering waivers. What do people need to know about those and how they work?
So waivers are amazing. So we've actually, at the Points Guy, we've been able to send some people to their holiday destinations early. So we were telling people as early as last weekend to start rebooking their flights to try to avoid today and tomorrow. So when the airline issues a waiver, that means they're not going to charge you to reticket it. So not only have they ditched change fees altogether, but they're not going to make you pay for the higher price ticket, and they could potentially put you on another airline. What weather waivers do not do, however, is guarantee you a hotel room, meal voucher, or transportation costs if you're stuck somewhere overnight. So you can always ask, but the airlines consider that an act of God, and they're not obligated to help you out when it comes to being stranded. So I always have a backup plan. I always know what airports are available, especially if I'm transiting via an airport like Charlotte. I'll look to see what hotels might be there if I get stuck. Always have a backup plan. And if you can push your reservation, so instead of going home the day after Christmas, you might want to give it a few days, because I have a feeling it's going to take the airlines a bit of time to sort of work through the mess of what we're seeing right now.
Absolutely. And we've seen some images there of people at airports, and it's busy. It can be really chaotic, especially when flights are getting canceled. What are your tips for beating some of those really long lines?
So the first thing I do is tell people to make sure that you're getting to the airport 3 hours early. I love TSA PreCheck and Clear. I have both. They've saved me so much time over the years. It's well worth the small investment, and some credit cards will pay you back for those fees. So that's worth it to me. Get to the airports 3 hours early. If you have elite status or you can use a lounge, that's always a really good idea. But really pack your patience right now, because, you know, we're all stretched to the limit, and the airlines and airports still are not fully hired since the pandemic. So they're doing better, but still everyone's going to be a little bit short-tempered right now.
Hack your patience. I was waiting for someone to say that line this holiday season. Clint, you nailed it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the tips. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. Let's hope it's not as bad as we think it's going to be.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.